Sure, here is the same 10-minute script in continuous paragraph format, without headings or section breaks. Troy Isley has officially turned up the heat ahead of his matchup with Joseph Hicks, and his message could not have been more direct. Isley is coming into this fight with serious confidence, making it clear that he does not see Hicks as someone who is going to stop his rise. When Isley fired off the brutal warning, "I'm a whoop yo ass," boxing fans immediately knew that this is not going to be a quiet build-up. Those words tell you exactly how Isley views the matchup. He believes he is faster, sharper, more skilled, and fully capable of controlling the fight once the opening bell rings. But now comes the difficult part, backing up all that confidence when the punches start flying. Joseph Hicks is not walking into this fight simply to be another name on Isley's record. Hicks has his own experience, his own confidence, and his own reasons for believing he can make this a difficult night for Isley. That is what makes the matchup so intriguing, because Isley's aggressive comments have raised the stakes before either man has even stepped inside the ring. For Isley, this is about more than simply winning. A dominant performance could help establish him as one of the fighters who deserves bigger opportunities and bigger names in the future. The pressure is increasing as his profile grows, and he knows that every fight is another chance to prove that he belongs at the highest level. That is why his confidence is so important. Isley is not talking like a fighter who expects a close, difficult battle. He is talking like a fighter who expects to take control and make his opponent pay for every mistake. But boxing has a way of humbling fighters who underestimate their opponents, and Joseph Hicks has the chance to make Isley work for everything. Hicks can use Isley's confidence as motivation, especially after hearing such a direct warning. When somebody tells you they are going to dominate you, there is only one place where you can truly answer that challenge: inside the ring. The interesting part is going to be seeing how both fighters react when the pre-fight emotion disappears and they are standing across from each other under the lights. Isley will have to rely on the skills that brought him to this point. His speed, timing, footwork, combinations, and ability to control distance could become major factors. If Isley can establish his jab early and dictate the pace, he could force Hicks to fight from uncomfortable positions. He can use movement to create openings, attack with combinations, and avoid giving Hicks the kind of clean opportunities that could change the fight. But Hicks will have his own plan. He knows that allowing Isley to get comfortable could be a major mistake, so he will likely look for ways to disrupt Isley's rhythm and force him into exchanges that are less predictable. That is where the mental side of boxing becomes so important. Before the fight, everyone has a plan. Once the punches start landing, however, fighters have to adapt. The fighter who remains calm under pressure often has the advantage, especially when the fight does not go according to the original game plan. Isley's biggest challenge may not be his physical ability but whether he can maintain discipline while trying to live up to his own prediction. Saying you are going to dominate an opponent creates pressure because fans will remember those words. If Isley backs them up with a spectacular performance, the quote becomes part of his story. But if Hicks makes him struggle, suddenly those same words can become ammunition for his critics. That is the risk fighters take when they talk with this level of confidence. Still, Isley appears comfortable with the pressure. He wants the attention, and more importantly, he wants the opportunity to prove that his confidence is justified. The fight could become a battle of speed versus toughness, technique versus pressure, and confidence versus experience. If Isley can maintain distance and land clean combinations without getting dragged into unnecessary exchanges, he could potentially control the fight from start to finish. But if Hicks can close the distance, make the fight physical, and force Isley to work in every exchange, the entire dynamic could change. That is why the opening rounds could be extremely important. Isley will likely want to establish authority early, while Hicks will be looking to figure out Isley's timing and weaknesses. The fighter who wins the battle for positioning could gain a major advantage. Another key factor will be conditioning. A fight can look completely different in the later rounds compared to the opening minutes. Speed is easier to maintain when the body is fresh, but as fatigue sets in, footwork slows down and defensive mistakes become more common. Whoever can stay composed and technically sharp when tired could have the advantage down the stretch. Isley will want to show that his confidence is not just talk. He will want to demonstrate that his skills translate when the opponent refuses to back down. Hicks, meanwhile, will have the perfect opportunity to turn the entire narrative around. If he can survive Isley's early attacks and begin finding success of his own, the pressure could quickly shift onto Isley. Suddenly, Isley would have to answer questions about whether he underestimated Hicks or whether his pre-fight confidence went too far. That is the beauty of boxing. One clean punch can change the story. One round can change momentum. One mistake can completely alter the outcome. Isley may believe that he is going to whoop Hicks, but Hicks has the opportunity to make him prove every word. The fans are going to be watching closely because the build-up has already created a storyline. Isley has made his position clear, and now Hicks has the chance to respond with his fists. If Isley dominates, people will look back at his warning and say that he predicted the outcome. If Hicks pulls off the upset or makes the fight extremely competitive, those same words could come back to haunt Isley. Either way, this matchup has the ingredients for a serious test. Isley is trying to establish himself as a fighter who deserves bigger opportunities, while Hicks has the opportunity to disrupt that momentum and prove that he belongs in the conversation as well. The pressure is real, but that pressure can also bring out the best in fighters. Isley's confidence could push him to perform at another level, while Hicks could use the disrespect as fuel. Troy Isley has officially sent a message to Joseph Hicks, and this is not the kind of message that leaves much room for interpretation. Isley is coming into this matchup with serious confidence, and when he said, "I'm a whoop yo ass," he made it clear that he does not believe Joseph Hicks is going to be able to handle what he brings into the ring. Those words immediately add another layer of intensity to a matchup that already has plenty of intrigue. Isley is not simply talking about winning. He is talking about imposing himself, taking control, and making sure that everyone watching understands that he believes he is on another level. But in boxing, confidence can be both a weapon and a source of pressure. The moment you tell the world that you are going to dominate another fighter, you create expectations for yourself. If you deliver, everybody remembers the confidence. If you struggle, everybody remembers the prediction. That is exactly what makes Isley's warning so interesting. He has put himself in the spotlight, and now the entire boxing community will be watching to see whether